My name is Adaeze, and I thought I had everything I ever wanted. I had a man who told me he loved me more than life itself. His name was Kelechi. He was charming, kind, at least that's what I believed, and he made me feel like I was the luckiest woman alive. And then there was my best friend, Amara. We had grown up together, sharing secrets, clothes, even dreams. She was the sister I never had. We promised each other that nothing would ever come between us, but life has a cruel way of testing promises. Because the two people I trusted most in this world, the man I loved and the friend I would have died for, were the very ones who stabbed me in the back. And when I discovered their betrayal, I didn't just cry. I didn't just break. I planned. And when the time was right, I made them pay, in full view of the very family they wanted to impress. It started small. I noticed Kelechi acting differently. He came home later than usual, always smelling faintly of perfume that wasn't mine. When I asked, he'd laugh it off, saying, "Work has been stressful, my love. Don't overthink it." And Amara? She started canceling our girls' nights. She became secretive, her phone always face down. I thought maybe she had a new man. She was hiding from me. I even teased her about it, but deep inside, something gnawed at me, a whisper I didn't want to hear. One evening, Kelechi forgot his phone at my apartment. A message popped up on the screen. My heart nearly stopped when I saw the name, Amara. The message read, "Last night was amazing. I can't stop thinking about you. When will I see you again?" My hands trembled. My chest tightened. The room spun. I wanted to believe it was a mistake, some cruel joke. But the truth was there, black and white, staring back at me. The man I loved was sleeping with my best friend. The betrayal cut deeper than any knife. For days, I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. My pillow was soaked with tears. My mind kept replaying their laughter, their secret touches, their lies. I confronted Amara first. I remember standing in front of her door, my fists shaking as I knocked. She opened it with a smile, but when she saw my face, the smile faltered. "What's wrong?" she asked. I threw the phone in her hands. She read the message, and I saw the color drain from her face. "Adaeze, please. It's not what you think." I slapped her. The sound echoed through the hallway. "Don't you dare lie to me," I screamed. "You had everything. Our friendship, my loyalty. And still you wanted what was mine?" She cried, begging, swearing it was a mistake, that it just happened. But betrayal doesn't just happen. It's a choice. And she had chosen him over me. When I walked away from her that night, I swore I would never forgive. Kelechi, on the other hand, denied it. "She's lying," he said. "She's jealous of what we have." But the more he lied, the more I saw the truth in his eyes. And that's when something inside me shifted. If they thought they could destroy me quietly, in the shadows, they were wrong. I wasn't going to beg. I wasn't going to scream. I was going to burn their lies to ashes. And I would do it in the one place they couldn't escape. In front of his family, the very people he wanted to keep his perfect image with. After that night, I knew crying wouldn't change anything. Screaming wouldn't fix the hole they tore in my heart. So I started planning. Kelechi came from a proud family. His parents were respected business owners, traditional, and very protective of their reputation. To them, appearances were everything. They adored me, always calling me their future daughter-in-law. And that was exactly where I would strike. Began acting normal again. I smiled at Kelechi, laughed at his jokes, pretended nothing had changed. When his mother invited me for Sunday lunch, I went, bringing wine and cake like I always did. I let them think I was still the sweet, loving Adaeze, but behind that smile, I was laying traps. I gathered evidence, screenshots of messages, pictures of them together, even recordings of whispered calls. At first, it hurt to even look at them, but soon the pain turned into fuel. If they wanted to betray me in secret, I would expose them in the light. The perfect chance came when Kelechi's family planned a dinner to announce his engagement. To me. The irony nearly made me laugh. He thought he could betray me and still have me smiling on his arm, paraded like a prize in front of his family. Fine. I would play the part. But that night, I would be the one holding the knife. On the evening of the dinner, I dressed like a queen. A red gown that flowed like fire, gold earrings that glimmered with every step. When I entered the dining hall, all eyes turned to me. Compliments showered. His parents beamed with pride. Kelechi took my hand, squeezing it gently. "You look stunning," he whispered. I smiled back sweetly, hiding the storm inside me. "Thank you, love." Across the room, Amara sat at the corner table. Yes, she was there too. My so-called best friend, bold enough to attend the celebration of the man she was secretly sharing. Our eyes met, and for a second, I saw panic flicker in hers. She knew me well enough to sense something was coming, and she was right. Dinner went on with laughter and praise. Kelechi's father stood to toast to new beginnings. His mother spoke about love and loyalty. My chest burned at the irony of those words. Finally, it was Kelechi's turn to speak. He stood, smiling proudly, and held up his glass. "Tonight," he said, "I want to thank my family and the woman I love, Adaeze, for being my strength. Soon, she will be my wife, and together we will build a future full of trust and happiness." My stomach twisted at the word trust. I couldn't wait another second. I stood. "Kelechi," I said, my voice steady but sharp, "before you finish that toast, I think your family deserves to see what kind of man you really are." Gasps echoed through the room. His smile froze. "Adaeze, what are you doing?" I reached into my clutch and pulled out a small flash drive. The projector was ready for after-dinner slideshows of family photos. But tonight, it would play something else. I plugged it in front of his parents, siblings, relatives, and friends, the screen lit up, not with happy pictures, but with screenshots of messages. Last night was amazing. "I can't stop thinking about you." "When will I see you again?" The room went dead silent. Faces turned from joy to horror. Kelechi's mother covered her mouth. His father's eyes blazed. Then came the pictures. Him and Amara together, smiling. Holding hands, kissing. A collective gasp filled the air. Some guests stood, whispering, pointing. Amara shrank in her chair, her face drained of blood. Kelechi lunged toward me. "Stop this! Enough!" But I stepped back, my voice ringing out. "No, Kelechi, enough is what you said to me every time. I doubted you. Enough is the word you used while betraying me behind my back. Tonight the lies end. Tonight your family sees the truth." The room erupted. His mother began to cry. His father stood, slamming his fist on the table. "Kelechi, is this true?" Kelechi stammered, sweating, looking between me and the screen. "Papa, please, it was a mistake. A mistake?" I cut in, my voice sharp as glass. "You don't make the same mistake for months. You don't make the same mistake with your fiancé's best friend." I turned my gaze on Amara. She was trembling, tears streaming down her face. "And you were my sister, my blood in everything but name. You ate at my table, wore my clothes, shared my dreams. And still, you chose to stab me in the back." The room was chaos now. Guests murmured, some shouted, others shook their heads in disgust. And me? I stood tall, my red gown blazing like fire. This was only the beginning. The hall had turned into a battlefield of whispers, gasps, and judgmental stares. Kelechi's family, once so proud of him, now looked at him with nothing but shame. His mother shook her head in disbelief, while his father's anger radiated like fire. Kelechi tried to grab my arm. Adaeze, stop this madness. We can talk privately. I yanked my arm free. My voice rose, steady and unshaken. Privately? You betrayed me privately. But tonight, we will speak in the light. If you had the audacity to disgrace me behind closed doors, then you'll face the consequences in front of those who matter, most to you. All eyes were on me, and I wasn't done yet. I pulled out a small notebook I had hidden in my bag. It contained every detail, dates, times, even the hotel receipts I had collected. I read them aloud, one by one, each revelation cutting deeper than the last. December 14th. While you told me you were stuck at work, you and Amara were at the Hilton. February 2nd. On the very night you promised my mother you'd take care of me forever, you were sending Amara messages calling her your queen. Every word was a knife. His family listened, horrified. Some guests couldn't even look at him. Kelechi's face turned crimson. Amara sat frozen, her mascara running in black streaks down her cheeks. Finally, Kelechi dropped to his knees in front of me. Adaeze, please, I made a mistake. I was weak. Don't do this to me. I laughed bitterly, my voice sharp with rage. Don't do this to you? What about me? What about the nights I cried myself to sleep? The mornings I forced a smile, believing, your lies? You took my love and turned it into a game. And you expect mercy? I bent down, staring directly into his trembling eyes. No, Kelechi. Tonight isn't about mercy. Tonight is about justice. His mother wailed, standing to face him. How could you? With her? With your fiancé's best friend? His father's voice boomed. You have disgraced this family. The weight of their judgment crushed him more than my words ever could. He looked like a man stripped bare, exposed before everyone he wanted to impress. But I wasn't done with Amara either. I turned to her. And you, Amara? You sat in my home, ate my food, called me sister, while sleeping with the man I planned to marry. Tell me, did betrayal taste sweet? Did it feel good stealing what was mine? Amara sobbed, shaking her head. Adaeze, I swear I didn't mean for it to go this far. I was lonely. I was lonely. I cut her off with a scoff. Then find comfort elsewhere, but not in my life, not in my future, not with my man. The room erupted again. Some guests shouted at Kelechi, others at Amara. The tension was electric, sharp, almost unbearable. And then, when the noise was at its peak, I raised my hand. The room fell silent. I looked around, my voice calm but filled with steel. Tonight was supposed to be an engagement dinner. But instead, it has become the funeral of lies. Kelechi, Amara, you thought you could break me. You thought I would swallow your betrayal and smile like a fool. But understand this. I straightened my back, my red gown blazing under the lights. You didn't break me. You made me stronger. And tonight, I return your betrayal to you, multiplied. With that, I walked to the head of the table, placed the engagement ring on the glass plate, and let it fall with a sharp clink. The sound echoed through the silent room like a final judgment. Gasps filled the air again. Kelechi reached for me, desperate. Adaeze, please, don't leave me like this. I turned, my voice cold. You left me long before tonight. You just didn't know I would rise. And with every eye still fixed on me, I lifted my head high and walked out of that hall. My heels clicked against the marble floor like drums of victory. Behind me, I left chaos, shame, and the shattered remains of their lies. But my revenge was not yet complete. Because the real pain wasn't an exposure. It would come after, when their lives began to crumble under the weight of what they had done, and I was going to make sure of it. When I left that hall, I thought the worst was over. But revenge isn't just about a single moment. It's about making sure the people who broke you never forget what they did. and I wasn't going to let Kelechi and Amara walk away easily. The days after the dinner were chaos. Kelechi's family was furious. His father disowned him temporarily, saying he had brought shame to their name. His mother refused to speak to him. The engagement dinner that was supposed to celebrate his future turned into the story of his disgrace, whispered. All over town, Amara wasn't spared either. Her parents found out. Her siblings turned their backs, and even her workplace became uncomfortable. No one trusted her anymore. She was branded as the girl who betrayed her best friend. But me? I walked with my head high, and as I rebuilt myself, I decided to deliver the final blow. You see, Kelechi wasn't just a charming man. He was also reckless. I knew things about his business dealings that his family didn't. Deals he had cut corners on. Money he had hidden. So, I gathered everything, emails, receipts, conversations, and when the time was right, I sent them, anonymously, to his father. The same father who had always told me, Adaeze, you are the daughter-in-law I prayed for. When he saw the evidence, it was the last straw. He called Kelechi into his office, and within a week, Kelechi was removed from every business position his family had given him. His inheritance? Frozen. His future? Shattered. As for Amara, I didn't need to lift another finger. The shame alone destroyed her reputation. But to make sure she never crossed me again, I let her see me rise. I started my own small business with the support of people who respected me for my strength. My name grew, my success spread, and every time Amara saw me smiling, thriving, she was reminded of what she had lost. Not just my friendship, but the place she once held by my side. Months later, Kelechi came crawling back. He stood outside my shop one afternoon looking thinner, broken, his eyes pleading. Adaeze, he whispered. Please. Give me another chance. I've lost everything. You were the only good thing in my life. I looked at him, the man I once loved, and felt nothing. No pain, no longing, just a cold clarity. You lost me long before tonight, I said softly. And unlike everything else in your life, I'm not something you can ever win back. And with that, I turned my back on him, leaving him in the dust of his own mistakes. As I walked away, my heart felt light. Because revenge isn't about anger, it's about reclaiming your power. And that night, in front of his family, in front of the world, I took mine back. Kelechi and Amara thought they had broken me. But in the end, my comeback wasn't just something they didn't see coming, it was the last thing they could ever recover from.